Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation, Season 6, Week number 9, and we're taking on our good buddy, Sebby VGC, formerly known as Blue Victini. He actually defeated us in the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 3 Finals, and yeah, so he's finally returned. He's taken over for a 1-1 team, and he's turned his season around already with a positive record and differential. And now we're facing off. And he's, like I said, he's one of our good buddies. He's got a very, very powerful squad. I do feel like all of our teams are very powerful in the league, but I feel like he has, even though his team is very powerful, I feel like it's the least powerful out of the rest of the teams because, you know, he didn't have much to work with. You know, he had to use a team that was already drafted, make a bunch of trades and whatnot, and basically had to pick up the leftovers from the draft and whatnot. So a little bit at a disadvantage there, but he's a great player and whatnot. His VGC skills have translated very nicely over into the draft meta. So yeah, looking forward to this match. So what we have here is, well, we'll talk about both teams first. My team, as always, is Z Celesteela, Mega Charizard X, Clefable, Crocodile, Suicune, Delmise, Jolteon, Hitmonlee, Mesprit, Swellow, and Protein Greninja, and my opponent is packing the Tapu Fini, Megalodios, Ferrothorn, Buzzwole, Gliscor, Magnezone, Alolan Marowak, Sneasel, Porygon Z as his Z move user, Staraptor, and Tentacruel. So I've had a lot of bad experiences with things like Buzzwole, Staraptor, Porygon Z, especially with the Z moves and whatnot. So definitely wanted to prep for those first and foremost, and we'll talk about that in a minute, I guess. The team we choose to bring is Life Orb, Greninja, Celesteela, Mega Charizard X, Clefable, Suicune, and Swellow. Let's see how can I say this. Okay, we'll just talk about the team, I guess. So Greninja here, as you can see, has enough speed. This is wrong, actually. This is supposed to be, I think, 363 to outspeed the Sneasel. So, please excuse the error here. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Dang, that's tough. Okay, so there we go. This is the set I brought. Life Orb it just hits really hard against his team. He don't have a switch into this thing. Ice Beam hits the Megalodios, the Gliscor, the Staraptor. Extra Sensory hits the Tentacruel super effectively. Buzzwole super effectively. The Gunk Shot hits the Tapu Fini super effectively. And the Hidden Power Fire hits the Ferrothorn super effectively. And the Magnezone super effectively. I think the only thing we don't hit super effectively, it hits the Hidden Power Fire, hits Sneasel super effectively as well. I think Porygon Z and I think it's just a Porygon Z. Let's see here. Tapu Fini gets bopped by Gunk Shot, Megalodios bopped by Ice Beam, Ferrothorn by Hidden Power Fire, Buzzwole by Extra Sensory, Gliscor by Ice Beam, Magnezone by Hidden Power Fire, Alolan Marowak, can't bop it, but I can get damage on it. Sneasel can bop it with the Hidden Power Fire, Porygon Z, don't have anything super effective for it either. Staraptor, Ice Beam, Tentacruel, Extra Sensory. So, you see two of his mons, he only has 2 mons that don't get hit super effectively by Greninja with this coverage. I have enough speed, like I said, to outspeed the Sneasel. Max special attack just so that I can hit as hard as possible when I'm clicking Ice Beam, Extra Sensory, and Hidden Power Fire. And the rest of my EVs dumped into attack so that I can hit the Tapu Fini harder with my Gunk Shots. And the Life Orb and Protein just makes it such a monster. Can clean up late game, can, you know, punch a bunch of holes early game and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. Next up we got Celesteela, the management here. Shed Shell, because he does have the Magnezone, and if this thing is my Staraptor check, so if he traps me with Magnezone and eliminates me, say I didn't have Shed Shell and he eliminates my Magnezone or my Celesteela with his Magnezone, then Star Raptor becomes a huge problem, and I'm not dealing with that. So I definitely got the shed shell here. Max defense, max HP. I'm not fucking around with the Star Raptor. Like, yeah, I'm not fucking around with that. This thing is gonna check the Star Raptor. I'm not gonna let this thing die unless Star Raptor is gonna die. You know. So we got the Lead Seed, Protect, Heavy Slam, and Earthquake. Earthquake can bop the Magnezone and Alola Marowak on the switch. Heavy Slam hits basically everything else outside of Ferrothorn, and I guess Tentacruel gets hit harder by the EQ as well. Lead Seed there, you know, just for the recovery and Protect. Like I said, I've been running this Lead Seed Protect 2 filler moves all season. It's not changing. I really can't find a way to run this thing offensive, especially with my already solid offense that I have. I just can't fit Celesteela to be an offensive mon. I'd really like to switch my Z move user at this point, probably to something like Swellow or Crocodile or something, but it's past time for that anyway. But yeah, this is Celesteela. It is my Star Raptor check. I guess it can take hits from things like Sneasel as well. Sneasel, Tentacruel, Gliscor, even Buzzwole can take some hits from Buzzwole. And the Mega Latios, so it's just this is just a really all around just a good move here, or a good mon. Taunt could be problematic from like Tapu Fini or Gliscor, like a faster Gliscor. Well, it's going to be faster regardless, no speed investment or not. Taunt could be a problem. Otherwise, this is pretty good mon. Next up, we got the Mega Charizard X with the Tough Claws, and I think I actually changed it from Swords Dance to Dragon Dance right before the game started. Actually, I definitely did. I changed it to Dragon Dance 3 attacks and don't even have Roost. I have, pretty sure, I may be mistaken here, but I'm pretty sure I switched it to Dragon Dance, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and Dragon Claw right before the match started, so that's why this is still like this. So just keep that in mind. I do not have Swords Dance. I have the Dragon Dance, and then I have Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and Dragon Claw. Fire Punch, it bops the Ferrothorn. Thunder Punch is only there for the Fini and the Tentacruel, which Tentacruel can be bopped by the Dragon Claw anyway. Here's a pretty good check to Zard, being Gliscor. But really that's his only check. I guess Tapu Fini could be a really good check, but like I said, I do have the Thunder Punch, so it's not the best check. Can really just set up and punch holes. I really like to weaken the Gliscor, get Starter Raptor, you know, checked, make sure it's not Scarf and whatnot, and then potentially sweep with a DD Zard. That's basically just it. And not much to say about that. So next up, we'll move on to Clefable here. Mr. Kaplan with Leftovers, Unaware ability. I'm rocking the Unaware because of things like Calm Mind, Mega Latios, or Buzzwole getting a Beast Boost or something like that. So it's a pretty good check to both of those mons, as well as things like Sneasel and Porygon Z. I can get up rocks, just click Moonblast 1,000 times this match. His switch-ins to Moonblast are things like Magnezone and Ferrothorn, which the rest of my team deals with pretty handily, in my opinion. I guess like a Scarf Magnezone could be problematic if my Zard gets weakened or something like that. But other than that, I'm not too worried about Magnezone. I'm not sure to actually even come. I think my opponent would say, hey, he's not going to bring Celesteela since I have Magnezone. But I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk not bringing Celesteela and him bringing Star Raptor. He's just too big of a threat. So I can throw off Wishes to Zard, Celesteela, Suicune. My other two mons are not going to receive Wishes well, Swellow and Greninja, because what happens is I throw off a Wish, switch one of those in hard, and they'll probably die. So that's not going to be an option. We can click Protect to see if things like Scarf, Magnezones, like going for a Volt Switch or Flash Cannon, can check the Star Raptor out for U-Turn or Brave Bird. If he clicks U-Turn, I can just stay in. If he clicks Brave Bird, I can go hard to Celesteela. And I can just repetitively click Moonblast versus Tapu Fini and not really worry about it being like a Calm Mind variant or whatnot. Clefable is just it's a bitch. It's a broken mon. Next up, we got Styx or Suicune. Leftovers item and the pressure ability is really, really solid in this matchup. If if Magnezone don't come, if Ferrothorn don't come, then Suicune could be very problematic for my opponent. Just with this this Crocoon set. Max defense, max HP, because Alolan Marowak with Thick Club can be a real problem. Same thing for Sneasel and Staraptor. Like, I can take a hit from Staraptor and say he goes for Brave Bird. Say he takes Rocks damage, he goes for Brave Bird and gets the recoil. Scald will put him in Rocks damage, Rocks range, so he will die from Rocks on the following switch in, or he'll die from the following Brave Bird, say, or Double Edge even. So yeah, that's that. Let's see here. I can rest up on basically anything that's not, like, as long as the Misty Terrain's not up, I can rest at any time. But there's just something about his team that I just really wanted to bring this Crocoon set. Anyways, we'll move on to our next mon being Swellow, another workup Silk Scarf set. This mon's so awesome. Like, Boom Burst is so cool because you can get the Scrappy ability and then Boom Burst and Heat Wave. It has no counters outside of like Fat Rock types, which that I could U-turn on, bring in a Suicune and click Scald, or bring in my Greninja and click Scald or whatnot, Surf, whatever. So U-turn gives me momentum. Boom Burst just bops everything. His only resist being Magnezone and Ferrothorn, and they both get bopped by a Heat Wave. Especially if I'm at +1 with the workup, this thing could go ham. I'm telling you. So yeah, that's the team. I'm predicting things like Tapu Fini, Megalodios, Ferrothorn, Alola Marowak, and maybe Staraptor or Tentacruel. Sneasel could come, but it's don't have the best matchup, and Buzzwole could come, but it also doesn't have the best matchup, unless you ran like a subset, a weird subset or something like that. I still don't think it has the best matchup though. But yeah, that's gonna be it. We'll hop into the replay in just a second. Okay, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Staraptor, like I said he would. That thing's a fucking monster. The Porygon Z, the Gliscor, the Ferrothorn, and the Tentacruel, and the Alola Marowak. The ones that I knew were coming for sure were things like Alola Marowak, Ferrothorn, and Gliscor. Kind of figured Staraptor and Tentacruel would come. Porygon Z was iffy. I didn't expect the Tapu Fini to not come because of things like Zard and Crocoon, any kind of mon with rest, or just general status for his team, like Will-O-Wisp, toxic and whatnot. But I guess looking at his team, he does have a will-o-wisp immunity, 3 toxic immunities if Gliscor is a toxic kill variant and whatnot. So very threatening squad here. I really didn't know how this one was going to play out, so I was really nervous about this one. And like last week, I had never beaten Skyrise before, and I think the week before that, I hadn't never beat Helmy before in proper contest. I beat him in a meme match once, but that didn't count. And I beat him for the first time. I beat Skyrise for the first time, and I've never beaten Sebi in draft. In the draft, any kind of draft battle, not in like a tournament or any kind of leagues we've ever been at. I've never beat him before. So really hoping I can pull out a win here. And yeah, let's looking at preview here. Greninja looked like, oh boy, Greninja's looking a ham, like it's gonna go hard as a motherfucker. Excuse my language. Celesteela, it's going to definitely be checking the Staraptor all match. Zard's going to be checking the Ferrothorn all match. Clefable's going to be checking the Porygon all match. And then Suicune and Swellow and Greninja's going to put the offensive pressure. Well, Suicune's not really the offensive pressure, but it's going to check the Alolan Marowak. It's going to click Scald and get potential Scald burns on things like Gliscor or Ferrothorn or Tentacruel. The other ones just don't appreciate Scalds anyway, but yeah, there's that. And then Swellow looks like it outpaces his entire team unless he's got like Choice Scarf variants in Porygon Z or Staraptor, which is his only 2 months that I think would be Choice Scarfed. I really think that if if Celesteela goes down and he is a Choice Scarf Staraptor, then that thing is going to eat my team alive. So anyways, we're going to lead off here, and I'm going to lead off with my Mega Charizard. I didn't want to lead with Clefable. Clefable was my only rocker in this match, if you notice. So I didn't want to lead with that, knowing he has things like Tentacruel and Ferrothorn, which could just set up their own hazards, and then Tentacruel can remove hazards all day on my Clefable anyway. So there's no real reason to lead Clefable and try to get my rocks up immediately. I do lead with my Zard, and he's going to lead with his Tentacruel, and he goes hard into Gliscor. My play here should have been to Dragon Claw, but I go straight for the Dragon Dance, hoping that he maybe stays in. But Sebi's a good player. He's not just going to stay in on a Zard X and let that thing set up. So he goes for the Earthquake there and does decent damage to my Clefable because I have no defensive bulk. And I am able to throw up my rocks here. I'm going to hard switch out into Greninja here because he has no switch-ins. I'm going to click the extra sensor here, and it's looking like a 2-hit KO. So I'm pretty happy about that. I do believe he's going to go into Ferrothorn here and Scout, but he actually goes into the Porygon Z and does not take this extra sensory well. And I'm predicting him to be Scarf Staraptor, so I don't expect him to be Scarf Porygon Z. So I'm just going to click extra sensory here. I did expect something like Z Conversion or something like, if he was Z Conversion, and he could have potentially won. This is so scary, man. So I bop him with the extra sensory, predicting him to not be Scarf, and he isn't. So got that play right. He goes out into Staraptor, so now I know he's Scarfed, as he's going to go for the U-turn here. But I had to go out to Celesteela. Nothing else made sense. And he goes into the Marowak here, able to get his rocks up, which is kind of, it was a 50-50 if I was going to stay in there. I didn't want to because of Flare Blitz potential, and like it just wasn't worth the risk to lose my Celesteela. So I'm just going to click the Hidden Power Fire here as he, had the Ferrothorn in. Switches out to the Staraptor though, so nice play there. Now I'm going to continuously go to Celesteela every time he brings this thing in. Every little chip damage I get on that thing is really nice. So I'm going to go for the Elite Seed here, and I get that right. I go for the Protector as he doubles out. He's not a bad player. Sebi's going to make all the right plays, and he's going to Scout. He goes out into this thing, and he's going to double into this Alolan Marowak, scouting for the Flamethrower, but I got him this time, and I click the Earthquake. I'm going hard back into my Suicune here, and takes 19% from this thing. It actually kind of had me worried there. I hadn't realized how much damage Suicune had taken already, and then when I saw I was at half, I was like, wait, what? So he brings in Ferrothorn here, and I'm going to hard switch right back out into Clefable here. I don't mind if this thing dies or whatever. It really doesn't serve a purpose in this match anymore, besides just getting my rocks up now. But he takes the opportunity to go ahead and set up his spikes as well. So here I'm just like, oh man. So instead of letting him set up another round of spikes, I'm going to hard switch right into my Zard and force him out. I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance though. And the reason I go for the Dragon Dance is because I want to get this Gliscor chipped a little bit. If I can get the Gliscor chipped a little bit, then I can knock it out with my Swellow. And he has no switch-ins to Swellow. So that's the plan here. And he does just that. I'm actually going to go into my Greninja here, not realizing that the spikes were up. So look right over here. I made a real big boo-boo here. But it happens. So I would have had a sack for the late game. It would have been nice, but it's still manageable. I felt like after that was a big turning point in the game. You know, I'm known for brain farts between, you know, let's say turn 17 and turn 35. I'm known for brain farts in between those turns. I play the early game well, I play the late game well, and I just have a hard time playing the entire game well. Here I'm going to go into my Swellow though. I'm going to click Work Up, as he actually is just going to click Knock Off here. So, unfortunate to lose my Silk Scarf, but still able to knock him out here with the Boom Burst. And he brings in the Staraptor, and I'm assuming he's going to click, you know, Brave Bird. He can't click U-Turn at this point. So, he does die to Recoil. So, down goes the Staraptor. Finally, I do not have Flamethrower. I do not have Flamethrower on Celesteela, which is coming to bite me in the ass right now. It's so unfortunate, but it is the decisions we make and the hindsight that we hate. So, here we are. I sack off my Clefable, bring in my Suicune because it's really my only way to win. I need to burn this thing. I need to burn Tentacruel, and I need to knock out the Alola Marowak, and then pressure stall Ferrothorn and Tentacruel. That's really what I need to do. And what's going to happen here is I do throw off a Scald, and I do get the burn on the Tentacruel. So what I need to happen is fall into place right now. I do believe he spins the rocks away here. Yeah, he does. And now Alola Marowak is you know, free to switch in and whatnot. He goes into the Ferrothorn here as I throw off a Leech Seed. So he's blocking that all game. And now I'm finally going to reveal that I cannot hit this Ferrothorn 100% at all. Just going to throw off some Earthquakes and try to chip it. Just a little chip. It's better than nothing, you know. And my opponent's actually going to go into the Alola Marowak here. I wasn't sure why he went into it on that play, but he did. It's no big deal. I'm going to go into Swellow here, and I outpace everything. I can't set up on this, but I do outpace everything. Had I not set up on the Gliscor and was able to knock it out with a Silk Scarf Boom Burst, then I would have had, you know, about 50% HP there, and I could have set up on the Tentacruel, which would have been nice. But here he's going to go for the Sludge Bomb. I'm going to wake up from my rest and get back to full HP. Suicune is now my last mon here. So what I'm basically having to do here is just sleep talk turns. And I get these roars. It's actually working out in my favor, sort of. Because if I can keep roaring him out, if I keep getting roars and he keeps going into the Tentacruel, it gives me a better chance of getting a burn on the Ferrothorn. And I don't necessarily know if a burn is necessary to win, but it would definitely help if he has something like Power Whip or Seed Bomb or something like that, because he will be able to Leech Seed me, and it's going to end up being problematic for me. And this Tentacruel just won't fucking die. So I have to rest up here eventually. I'm going to throw off a Rest Talk and hopefully hit him up with a Scald. And I do just that, and I get the burn. So there we are. If we can PP stall this thing before it PP stalls us, we still have a chance to win here. So I'm roar him out, and he goes into the Tentacruel comes out. He goes into the Tentacruel. Nah, he didn't go into it. It was roared out. Here I wake up, click the Scald again, and now Suicune is taking on the world all by himself here. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Go down here and turn it on fast mode, because this is very stallish. Not stallish, but it's very long and drawn out. Basically, he has to use his Leech Seeds, his Power Whips, his Spikes, and what was his other move? Spikes, Power Whip. Oh, he's got the Iron Head. He hasn't revealed it yet, but he's packing the Iron Head. which we'll talk about that in a minute. So as you can see, Power Whip's doing 20%, which is burn, I think, halves your attack, meaning at the most he would be doing would be around 40% or so with Power Whip if he wasn't burned. So very big difference there with the burn and whatnot. And I just have to keep going, just have to keep fighting, can't give up. I could give up here and lose. I really thought about it actually because, you know, Sebi needs this win for his playoff chances, and I'm in like a controlling position for playoffs already. I think my spot's actually guaranteed after I got my 7th win. Yeah, when I got my 7th win, I'm pretty sure I guaranteed myself playoffs. And what's going to happen here is I actually figure out that if I click, if I'm asleep and I click a move outside of sleep talk, then I'm not using any PP. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to, every time I go to rest and I realize he's getting low on PP, what I'm going to start doing is clicking, randomly clicking moves while I'm asleep. So that's not going to, I'm not going to get a turn off. I'm not wasting any PP because I'm asleep. And my opponent continues to lose PP. Rest up, power whips, rest up. It's ongoing here. He gets really close there. You know, if I didn't have leftovers, if my leftovers got knocked off earlier, or if he had knock off instead of the Iron Head, he could have potentially maybe won this right there. That got scary actually. As you see, it just did 24% when he's burned, so it could have did maybe 48% if he wasn't burned. Here's gonna go for the Iron Head, gets a crit, didn't matter. I think the only RNG in this match that matters is actually the burn on the Ferrothorn. Which is good that there's only one part of RNG, but it's so important that it's still not good. It's not like a happy thing. Anyways, just gonna rinse and repeat here. Rest, sleep talk, spikes, sleep talk, rest, scald, roar, sleep talk, roar, scald, spikes. All in the match. Eventually he's going to start losing PP, and he's going to have to start struggling. And once he starts struggling, he will be doing more damage to himself, and then he's doing it to me, and I'll be clicking Scald as well. So I'll be chipping him down a little bit more when he starts, when he runs out of moves. I think I played this to win at the end. But, yeah, without the burn, I don't think I won this game. I don't think Suicune 1v1's Ferrothorn without the burn. But that's the thing about Scald, is the 30% chance to burn. This game's... I don't like this game. I hate Pokemon. I guess RNG gives it that excitement because you never know what's going to happen. But at this point, he is going to struggle to death. And I'm going to continue to make sure that I don't lose this game. And yeah, I think my opponent has one more struggle left until he faints. Maybe 2. The leech seed is really helping him. His leech seed and leftovers is really helping him. What I need is to get off a Scald on the turn that he struggles. But here he goes down, and we finally pick up the win here. My opponent was definitely not salty. It was an unfortunate way to win. But yeah, me and him, we never get salty against each other. But yeah, that's going to be the game. We pick up another 1-0 victory against another very powerful player in a 91 turn battle. And I'm happy with the win. I'm just not happy with the way it was. Definitely didn't want to win because I burned a Ferrothorn. But it was... It's a Scald burn is so much different than a crit or a miss or a flamethrower burn or a ice beam freeze or a thunderbolt para or something like that. Scald's, as unhappy as this win was, it was still somewhat fulfilling. It was my first win against Sebi. Definitely didn't want it like this. But yeah, good game, bro. And good luck to you in the rest of the season, because I know you're definitely going to make playoffs, and you're definitely going to come out strong. Hopefully we can play in the playoffs and I can get my revenge in the finals or something. You never know. Let me know what you thought about the prep on both sides, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I thank you for watching.